Hello everyone, my name is Seth Blackwood. I am a homebrew content creator for Dungeons & Dragons. And while you may not know me personally, or know my name, you may know of my work which has been around the D&D community a little bit. I've made the Paladin, Oath of the Unconquered, as well as the Paladin, Oath of the Grim Hunt, and the War Jester Roguish archetype. Today, I'm going to answer a question I get a lot when I post my work. And that is, how do I make my subclass pages look so official? How do I make them look good? How do I put the pictures in them? Well, that's what we're going to do today. And this is going to be a full tutorial. I'm going to take you from a blank sheet to a full subclass page like you see here. So to start making subclass pages, you're going to need three things. You're going to need access to a site called naturalcrit.com. You're also going to need access to a site called Imager. Most of you should know what that is. And you're going to need access to a photo editing software such as GIMP, which is a free option, or the other famous one, Photoshop. Both are extremely easy to use and can achieve the same effect, though I will be using Photoshop in this tutorial. As for starting, all you have to do is go to naturalcrit.com and just make an account on the site and log in and then refresh the page because it's a little bit wacky. And then you're going to go to this thing called Homebrewery. Right here. Now, the screen should look like this, and if you have no experience with programming whatsoever, it's fine. This is going to be extremely intimidating at first, but to make it really, really, really easy for you, we're just going to go down, select, and delete everything so that we can focus on the very, very, very basics of how to work this, so that you're not distracted by all the numbers and slashes and random punctuation pieces. But to do the very basics, to create just text, you type on the left there, and then it transfers over with the magic of programming and code over here. It does everything for you. It creates the font, it creates the layout, it already splits the page. So if you just keep typing, it automatically splits it down the middle, so you have the two-column system just like the books. And then you can just keep typing and then make paragraphs as normal. You need to press enter twice in order to get paragraphs, just like that. So, to make this really easy, we're going to use the very basic form, or basic code to make this page. So, to make this page, or to make titles, sorry, just press hashtag. That's it. Press space and type. And there you have your title. Pretty easy. That kind of separates the chapter, and we'll go through and do a proper formatting tutorial later, and I'll explain what each of the hashtags is for, because there's multiple different forms of hashtags. There's 1 hashtag, 2 hashtag, 3 hashtag, 4 hashtag, and 5. There's 5 hashtags in total, each with a different size, that you can see changing on the left side of the page. Or on the right side, sorry. Just like that. And that's all we're going to use. We're going to use, specifically, in the way I do it, we're going to use 2 hashtags, and then we're going to do 4 hashtags to title the different abilities. So just like ability 1, ability 2, and so on and so forth. Part of this video in the description there is a link to a Google folder that has some resources in it that can help you follow along. If you want to follow along step by step by step with me, or if you just want to watch this video and then try it for yourself, you can do that too. But it has other resources that'll be useful later. So to save time in this tutorial, I'm just going to go to that Google folder, like I said. This one, I'll put a link for it in the description. And you got all these ABR files, and you got this one, subclass code. This one right here. It's free to open up. You can open up, look at it, and it comes to this page here. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do everything I do with my very first rogue, the War Jester. And to do this, you're just going to click up here on the top left. You're going to scroll down to the top right, at the bottom right. Press Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste. And just like that, you have a pretty good subclass page to use. And from here on, it's pretty easy. You just got to save it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to save the current. And then you're going to go to over here to Get PDF to get a readable PDF of it. Very easy. And now you have... Oh, sorry. When you first get to this page, make sure you go over here. It's going to bring up this print option. And then you're going to go to, instead of over here to destination, you're going to go to, instead of anything else, you're going to go to save as PDF. And then you're going to click save. And then you're going to save it to a folder anywhere you want. Doesn't matter. I like to keep all my PDFs in a nice tidy space so I can find them whenever I want to. So we're just going to save this as Roguish Archetype, or RA, War Jester, just like that. And then that's it. It's now should be downloaded, and it should be in wherever you download it. So we're just going to go to, sorry, that is the wrong file. And over here to the RA War Jester. And then there you go. You have a PDF that's readable on PDF softwares. It's really high quality, so you don't have to worry about like a JPEG blurring it out or a PNG blurring it out, being pixelated. It's a PDF file, so you can read it just fine. After this, you're going to need to open up Photoshop, and I'll show you how to put pictures into the PDF itself, how it works, and how to do it. So, yeah. So once you erased it, you just slowly reveal the picture until you get what you want. Just like that. There you go. You have a split image page, and it looks pretty nice. You get the subject of what you want, and the text to go along with it. Now, this is where the tutorial gets a little bit advanced with Photoshop. So we're going to make it look even better, because right now it's just a line. And what you can do is, if you don't have Photoshop, I'm not sure how GIMP works exactly, but you can also you can mess around with the eraser tool and kind of just get an effect that you want, just like that. Just make it crazy borders. But for Photoshop, and the reason I use Photoshop is because it's brushes. It has a brush system. It's really powerful. And over here you can see these things called brushes. And what we can do with brushes is create different effects with those brushes. And before we even get to this, I want to show you how to upload the brushes to Photoshop. Back to the Google Drive folder I have linked, and just look for these ABR files here. These are your brush files for Photoshop. And what we're going to simply do is just double click on the paint structure, ABR. We're going to need this one specifically. It's the one I use. You're going to click download. And then you're going to go down here on your Google Chrome, if you're using Google Chrome, and click show in folder to show where it is. And once you got this pulled up, don't worry about it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go back into Photoshop. It's going to be necessary for later. And then you're going to go back to brushes or eraser, doesn't matter. And you're going to click over here on this little drop down arrow like we did before. And then you're going to go to this cogwheel over here. And then you're going to click import brushes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your downloads folder. You're going to click and drag it into this folder here that pops up. and then you can just get rid of that file. And you're going to double click on the file you just loaded, this paint structure. Double click it, and it should load it up in here. You can see the names of it. And we loaded the second one because we've already had it loaded. And then what we're going to do is, very simply, we're going to pick one of these textures, and you can see the one that's already highlighted is the one I like to use. And then we're going to just double click it. We're just going to double click it, and then we have that. And so what we're going to do is you're just going to simply click and drag and just begin erasing the page like this. And you can see how nice and textured that is, and just how awesome how much more awesome it makes the page itself, just having a texture separating the picture and the text. It's a really nice effect, but the brush we're using is extremely wild and has a tendency to erase things we don't want erased. What we're going to do is we're just going to undo what we did there, and then we're going to go back up to here at this top. We're going to click this button. It looks like a folder that has a brush on it, and then we're going to come over here. This is how you edit your brushes to do what you want and to do different effects. We're going to go down to shape dynamics, and then we're going to take size jitter. This shows how much size changes every time you move it. And you click it all the way down to 0, so we have a nice consistent size. And then we're going to keep angle jitter where it is, and then that's it. That's all we need to do. And then we're just going to click this double arrow to close this, and then you're going to use the bracket keys, the left bracket to decrease the size, and right bracket to increase the size. And you're just going to find a nice, good size. I like 600. And then you're just going to start erasing more. So the texture is a bit, it's still wild, but not as wild as to, cause us to have to undo things 100 times. So to save a lot of headaches, and this is important, to save a lot of headaches, do not start erasing with this brush. Just go back to a regular flat brush with a very low hardness. 0% works. I like a little bit of 25. And then just going to start erasing a little bit. Not all of it. Not up to the text. And then you're going to go back and you're going to grab the brush you had by going back. And this is your brush history over here. You're going to go back and click on the brush you had. And then you're just going to start erasing again. Just like that. And so you can use the smaller size of the brush to get closer and closer and closer to the text without having to worry about erasing the text itself. And just like that. And before you know it, you have a very good, awesome looking texture between your text and your picture. And then you can go and experiment with that. You can increase the size of it to get different effects on the page. You can go smaller, you can go bigger. You can use the different brushes that I have available to get different effects. Just like that. And you can experiment left and right. And that's pretty much it on how I make these pages. There's a bit more advanced stuff, but as for this is really all you need in order to start making pages. And I encourage you to just practice around with everything I've shown you in this video.